All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. For those of you who were here at the previous talk, thanks for not calling me out when I said the wrong time, because it was more than 12 minutes for the transition period. Anyway, welcome. And let me introduce Gil Megidish. Gil is the lead on the open source mobile-cli project and the CTO of Mobile Next. But what you don't know about him is he's also a very avid engineer who likes to reverse engineer retro games like Karateka, I think the name of it.
That's the name, Karateka, yeah.
Dangerous Dave,
yeah.
But also LA Cat. So if you are interested in retro games, talk to this guy afterwards. Round of applause, please. Gil.
Thank you. All right. Okay, what we're going to talk about today is how to up-level mobile development and automation with AI agent. Now, what I want you to get out of this today is you're going to see how an agent see a bug report, how they can reproduce it on a phone with mobile-mcp. You're going to see how an agent writes a test to repeat it using mobile-write. You see how the agent fixes a bug. And at the end, there's cake. Now, the point of this talk is that it's technical a bit. You're going to see a lot of pre-recorded videos of Claude doing this. You're going to see code being written. But I want you to ask questions during. Don't wait for the end if something is not really understood. Just raise your hand and just start talking. It's fine. I really want it to be understood. So let's get started. A lot of people coming in. Who am I? As mentioned, I'm the CTO of Mobile Next. Previously, I was the CTO of a company called TestFairy. We had an SDK and an app distribution used by tens of millions of devices worldwide in production, and also was the mobile product architect for Sauce Labs for the last 4-something years. This is my GitHub, and this is my LinkedIn. On my GitHub, a lot of reverse engineering projects. I really like hacking stuff. All right. This whole presentation and demo will be talking about Milliways. And this is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference. It's the demo application that we'll be using. And it's kind of like a Vault app, right? So you have the welcome screen. You have the items that you can order. And it's all jokes from the books. You can order stuff, you can place an order, and at the end, you can get it delivered to your Galaxy. It has all the elements that you need, like lists and swipes and images and whatnot. And we'll learn about what mobile-write is along the way. So the demo starts with getting a bug report. It could have been Jira, it could have been email, support ticket. Somebody says, dear Milliways team, I placed an order for soup of the day and the dark matter martini, and I found the coupon, I used the coupon, and then once I canceled one of the items, the app gone bye-bye. I don't know what to do, help me, goulash X. This is, we've seen this in the previous conversation, previous demos. This is where you get a 1-star in the App Store. So this is how it looks. It could have been an App Store review. But now we have a bug, and we need to understand what it is and need to redo this. So as Jason said, it could take us a long time. It could take us 6 hours to debug this, or we can give it to an agent. Well, what would an agent do? So first of all, we'll start with, and I'm going to show the video, and I'm going to pause. So again, if you have questions during, is this readable? Can you read the text? Yeah? OK. So first of all, I always say, hey, Claude, I'm really nice to my agents. When the uprise comes, I'm going to be fine. Hey, Claude, somebody opened up a ticket. Here's the GitHub issue. Please try to reproduce it on this iOS simulator, and let's see how you do this. So Claude is thinking. This is, I'll show at the end how to reproduce the whole demo. So this is the science. It says, let me read the ticket first. I got it. This is what I need to do. Let me try to reproduce it. Now, we have an open source mobile-mcp. It's been out for a year. It says, OK, I found that you have a device running. I know that the app is installed on the device. Let me create the issue. Now, it's doing this in a complete new context. It doesn't have access to the code. It doesn't have, it's just a black box for it. It doesn't know what's on it. But it knows how to swipe up and down, and it knows what the app is just by looking at the screenshots, at the view tree, and it says, okay, let me add the items. I see the items. I see, you see that? I see it costs 33.75 credits, the 2 items. Let me apply the coupon. And it goes, the card is open, I have the both items, let me type Marvin. That's the coupon that Goulash X said. So he types in, right? And notice that I didn't tell it anything. The whole premise of this demo is that you saw this one prompt that I give it. No context, never heard of milliways or my mobile device before. It said, okay, let me type in Marvin, and let me click apply. And now it's yeah, okay, it got 20 credits back. All right, coupon apply, the total sum now is 17. Now this is my favorite part of the demo. For some reason, I don't know how, but Claude has seen a lot of people using mobile devices, I guess. It would train on this. It figured out that it can swipe an item and remove it. This is the really stuff that my jaw drops, and this is the magic of AI that I don't know how it picked it up on this, but this is my favorite part of the demo. It says, let me just swipe it and just delete the item. All right, so it's calling, and now what happened, I don't know if you can see this, if this is readable, you got negative. So the coupon reduced 20 credits. When you remove one of the items, suddenly it becomes negative. So you can only apply this coupon once you have 2 items and the sum is more than 20, but once you remove one of the items, it becomes negative. So it says, okay, I tapped it, I removed it, and super remove, the total sum now is minus 14 because the coupon exceeded the remaining price. So I think if I tap it, it crashes. Now, this is another feature of the MCP. It says the app crashed because we're back at the home screen. Let me grab the crash logs. So it would go to the device. It could be a real device. It could be a device in the cloud. It could be a local simulator or emulator, whatever you want. It goes in and fetches the crash report from the device or from the simulator. And it says, bug confirmed, the stack trace says this is order view.swift, line 137, assertion failure. Right? So it didn't fail because something the user did wrong. There's an assertion in the code. Now, what's also amazing about this, it created the crash report, right? It doesn't have access to the code, but it knows if it would look at the code, order view 139, that's the error. Yes? Excellent question. So the question was, let me repeat this. In what context? What context did I give the Claude, and how did it know to run this app? And what the overall view, like knowledge that it had in the context. So to create this, and the steps at the last slide, I'm going to show steps. I created a new directory. It has no access to the Git repo. And the only thing it knows is the prompt that I give it. How it knows the name of the app. At the first, it says, I'm looking for an app called Milliways. So it says, let me list the apps, let me launch Milliways. And it knows this because it's the Git repo's name was called Milliways, so it assumed it's that one. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be better if you either open the application repo itself or maybe a test suite repo, so like if they're not the same?
It's not going to be the same result. So what happened if I ran it inside the directory with the code? Then I will not be able to show that this is a black box testing. This is an E2E test. It has no idea of the code. If I would give it the issue and the code base, it might go, oh, this is the bug, let me fix it. And you would not be able, you will not have, maybe you not have a test suite that repeats it. Because it would, functionally, it knows that this line is a bug, let me fix it, that's it. So I did want it to be an empty. I can do it on every other app I want on the Play Store and on my device. Anybody else? Yeah. Thanks, Yamin.
Thank you. Also, quick question.
Yeah.
But somehow Claude knows about this mobile MCP tool.
Yes. Yes, true.
This is
That's
important.
correct. It's a new directory, and I just added the MCP in that directory.
Okay.
So the tools that the MCP, the mobile MCP, is a very famous MCP that we built. It's open source Apache everything. It's been around for a year. It says over like 5,000 stars on GitHub, and it's being used by 6,000 developers daily. And what it does, it exposes a lot of tools like which devices are connected or simulators, emulators, get me crash reports, dump the view tree, get a screenshot, rotate device, stuff like that. So it has everything available. And yeah, it did know that there's a device. Right, thank you. Yes?
Hi, a quick one. If I run this prompt, let's say 10 times,
Yeah.
will I get the same result?
No. That is why we're going to get to this in the next slide, why we have mobile write. So yes, if you ask Claude 10 times in 10 different tabs at the same moment a question, what is your favorite color? Each tab would give you a different result. It's non-deterministic. So yeah, but it does, it would get to the same result, but it would try something differently. It would try to launch it and do something else, maybe swipe twice down instead of once. It's kind of like that stuff, but it will be the same result. Okay, bug confirmed. That's it. It said, I found the bug. Now it's up to us to decide what to do with it. So let me also say, when I recorded this video, I made sure that this is not, like I didn't try it multiple times to get the best video to show. It's the one prompt, like that's it, there's one take. So now I, Command Z, I stopped Claude for a second, and you can see this, I'm in a new directory, so it's empty, there's nothing in it. And I want to now make this into a predictable script. So it's not LLM, that every time it becomes different, and every model that comes out, suddenly my test would behave differently. So now I want to make it finite, and I want it to be, okay, you can see this. What I did was I ran npm init mobile write. This npm init mobile write is kind of like npm init playwright. And what it does, it creates a skeleton template in the current directory. So you ask what type of language you want to use for the automation tests. Then it shows TypeScript, that's the default. What the name of the directory for the test files, tests. If you want a default app bundle ID or package name, it would recognize if you're in a project, but it left empty because I'm not in any project. And now it's installed the dependencies. Okay, now, what's mobile write? Mobile write is playwright for mobile devices. It depends on playwright. So you're getting the same fixtures, locators, test reports, sharding, workers, everything is the same. The only difference is instead of getting a browser and a page, you're getting a device, and a screen. So you can get device logs and you can swipe on a screen, but it's the same get by role, and all those things are the same. We'll get to see exactly how it looks. But now I just told npm to create a package for me, and then I'm coming back into, yeah, that's it. It was done in a few seconds. Now I'm back in Claude, and I say, all right, Claude, I have a new mobile write in this directory. Let's create a mobile write test to reproduce the regression. Notice also that I didn't include an extra skill or anything else. The skeleton has a comment. Here's the link to the documents. Here's the link to learn about the API. And now I'm fast forwarding because this is going to take time. But what it does is, because I'm in the same context as what happened before, I'm in the same context that I reproduced the bug. So now it knows immediately how to write the test. It has it in the context, in the memory. So it said, yeah, I'm done. And I said, okay, run the test. And now you're saying it at, okay, it was missing something, and it auto-fixed itself. That's why I say it's a one-shot video. And then it says, okay, let me run the test. And now it's going to start, boom, and this is real time. Now you can see that this is the speed of the automation. Right? It clicks the same thing. Yep. Deleting, crashed. All right, it's very happy. The app is no longer in the foreground. It's dead. We expected the app to be the mobile next milliways to be, and it says, okay, the test failed exactly as expected. So now I've reproduced this. Now I have something runs, it ran in like 8 seconds, I think. Instead of when I reproduced this with the MCP, it took minutes. But now I also know that it's going to be repeatable. So now I will do the next step. But let's first look at the code that he generated. That's still readable? OK. If you know Playwright, you know mobile-write. So you can see the only difference at the top is that you get a test and expect, but you get it from the mobile-write/test. Right? And it starts the same thing. You have a function called test. What is the name of it? And you're getting back a screen and a device. You get other things like the bundle ID and other information. This is the script that Claude wrote. Now, everybody I talk to here in the crowd, they all say we have a test framework above Selenium, right? Because every company builds something that is unique to them where they can shorten things. So here's a dump where it's a single test. It doesn't know of any of the other tests that Milliways has because it doesn't have access to the repo. So it wrote everything from scratch. So it first of all says, OK, let me terminate the app and then launch it again. So I'm at the first screen. Then it says screen, get by role. I want a button that the name is the same. There's a mapping on the Docs website. The name is new order. That's going to be the title of the button. Once I get it, I want tap. Something amazing about Playwright is that it waits for elements to be visible, so you don't have to wait for them. There's a default timeout for each one of them, and you can change the global timeout. But without saying everything, get by role, find a button, new order, and tap on it. It has to be visible. It has to be enabled. If it's in the view tree, you can have it to scroll automatically to it and press on it. But it's up to you. And then it says, get by text, soup of the day, and tap on this. Could have used get by list or find the first list, find the item. It says get by text, find the button, add to order, tap on this. And then it says, OK, dark matter is probably below the fold, so let me scroll into view if needed. That's the same as Playwright. And it adds the same thing. You can read the code. At the end, it says device, get the foreground app, and it must be the bundle ID that I expected. Right? So that's the test. It didn't use, let me see if there was a crash. It says, let me just see if the app is still in the foreground. That's good enough. You can read this, and that's the whole thing. You can see that there's like 15 clicks and some assertions, but it's really done without any of my help. Oh, sorry. Now that I have, any questions about this, by the way, about the code, before I move on? No, all right. So now that I have a test, and I can repeat it, I go and I said, OK, you know what? The source code from Milliways is actually in the Git in my Git directory. Can you please fix the bug, install, and run the test again? I want to see that you fixed it. And I'm going to speed things up. You can see that it's actually looking for the name order view because it knows the crash is there, right? And then I'm just letting it. You can see that it's sped up. But I actually look at the test and let me pause here. So we found this is not where the app crashed. The app crashed because of an assertion in line 140 something, but the bug was that we had negative value. So he said, OK, let me max. It has to be 0 and above, right? And then it's OK, I'm done. Let me find if you have an export project for this, and it would find that there's a README and just compose it. So now it's building. Let me speed up a bit. It's installed it on the device. There's a new version of it. And then it runs the same command again. Runs the mobile-write test, but that specific test. And you can see that it starts now. It's the same thing. This is the write speed. You can see the seconds going up at the same speed. It does exactly the same thing, reproducing it, deletes the item, checks out, success. It didn't crash. But this is where I say, not everything in AI is good. Going back to the video. The way it fixed it It said if the total sum is negative, let's make it a positive. It fixes the problem, right? So I keep telling this joke to my wife. You know, the wife sends her developer husband to the market to buy milk, and if there's eggs, buy a dozen, and he comes back with 12 milks. It's exactly this. I told it fix the bug. So it said if it crashes, it could have done a comment assertion, remove the assertion. It would work. So this is where I say, we still have a job. We still need to review everything, but we need to put a PM hat and say, no, that's not what I want to disable. But I didn't tell it to disable. I told it fix it. So the natural language for me was just get it done. I don't care how. But the real prompt I should have done is, I want to fix this. If there's negative, do not allow. We want at least to have 5 credits before we allow people to order stuff from us. So that's a good demo to show, yeah, not everything is bright. Okay, let's go back. Yeah, that one. But this is science. You can reproduce it yourself. You can just git clone mobile next Milliways iOS. That's our demo application. You can just build it with make install. It installs on the first simulators that you have, and then you can tell Claude to run this. At the end, there's cake. So this is reproducible. And here's a few things that you can do with the mobile MCP. So the mobile MCP does what mobile write can do. And nowadays, when you develop for web, Claude would use Playwright, right? It would write a short script, run it, write a short script, run it. With mobile devices, it's different because it takes you time to allocate a device if it's in the cloud. You need sometimes to have a clean slate. You need to uninstall, reinstall. It depends on a few things. So you may not want to write a test all the time. You may want to give it context. So that's why we have an MCP, and that's why we have command line, and we have the mobile write SDK itself. You can use in any combination that you want. It's the same code underneath. And everything is Apache. Like all these 4 projects are Apache. So what you can do with an MCP. MCP is non-deterministic, which gives us a lot of leeway in what we can do. You can take and convert this iPhone app that I showed, Milliways, convert it into an Android project. Do this, convert it for me, create a new Git repo. When you're done, get me an MP4, show me all the buttons work. I can do this. It will do this in one prompt. It will work. Especially if I have the mobile write test, I can tell it, make sure that the tests work on Android. I can tell it to take a screenshot of what's now on my device. I don't know where the code is coming from. So find me the database queries that render everything at the screen at the end. It would do that. If I have any flaky tests, try to reproduce them. Let's fix them. Is there a problem in the test or is there a problem in my code? And develop a new feature that I want. I want the video to be attached on the PR. That's also possible. It's something that we do daily on our apps. And I can say, look at the App Store star PNG files and recreate them, the same screenshot with the new version. Let's say I changed something. I don't need to rework this. So the MCP can take a lot of work that the humans were doing, which is repeatable. I don't want to take screenshots every time and make a new art for my project. I don't need to convert the new feature from iOS to Android. I wrote it once on Android. It's OK. It's the same feature. So it saves us a lot of things. Mobile write, on the other hand, is just test. That's it. There's no fuzzy logic in this. It's just repeatable. It gets everything done. What you had in the MCP, you can make it into steps and shove it into the CI or run this locally to make sure. But mobile write has only these things. When mobile write finishes, you're getting the same test report as you get from Playwright. So this is, you can say it's exactly like Playwright. You can see all the tests that failed and passed. The top 3 should fail. This is something that we wanted. Like it's showing. Don't allow. You can see that it shows you where the assertion failed. Right? The text on screen should have minutes to delivery to be visible, but it didn't. So you can copy the prompt and go to your agent and say, fix it. You can, the network is down. All right. But you also have screenshots and videos from everything. Like you have, every time a test failed, you can say, attach me a screenshot or get me the video of the test. Like I don't want to run it again to reproduce the bug. Sorry. So what we have, so as mentioned, we're mobile next. Our goal is to adapt the development of the mobile apps to the modern era, and we introduced a lot of things. So mobile-mcp came a year ago. It was the first one. It was 2 platforms from day one, and everything that we do is Apache 2. You've seen mobile-write, which is playwright exactly with everything. It's locators, auto-wait, like everything is coming from playwright. We have the mobile CLI, which gives you everything from CLI. So you can say in command line, screenshot, record video, dump the UI tree, grep, whatever you want. You don't have to use anything else. Everything depends on mobile CLI. It has Go iOS. It connects directly to ADB, locally or remotely, and it runs SimCTL by itself. So it would connect to the SimCTL directories and do everything. So you don't need to know anything. There's also that we connect to the devices, and we have Device Kit, which is kind of like a new version for WebDriver agent that we have from Appium. So it's a new rewrite. It has new features like WebSocket instead of REST API. It has a different way of dumping the view tree that ends in milliseconds. It has MP4 recording on real devices as well, using Replay Kit and all these other features. That's also out. And we have the mobile-mcp that you've seen this. Aside, we also have our own device cloud. We call it mobile-use, mobile-use.com. It's a device farm that you say programmatically allocate a device, and you get it within 2 seconds. Android and iOS, it's only real devices right now. But everything here connects to it, right? So you can, from command line, allocate a device, develop a new feature, release the device. So agentic coding and agentic test, they can run in the cloud. You don't need the Mac anymore for anything. That's the whole architecture. Where do you go from here? Mobile-write.dev and mobile-write.dev/docs. You will find a lot of stuff there and how to get started and getting started documents and everything. What I'm asking is if you're using this, please let us know. We have a Slack channel that is a Slack server that is public. You can join. Tell us if you run into problems. There's a roadmap. We're adding web views in hybrid apps. We're adding Flutter supports for the locators and everything. But we want to hear how people use it. We want to make it better. We use it ourselves for our development, but we want to adapt to also other teams and companies. You can use the mobile-mcp. It's a single command line to install it on Codex, on anything OpenAI, anything Anthropic, any agent that you want. There's like 50 integrations. Milliways, iOS app, Android app is not yet out, and the mobile-use.com if you need real devices really fast. This is my LinkedIn. Ping me. Tell me that you've seen we met at the conference, and that's the cake. Thank you so much. One last thing. Wait. Make some noise. All right, I'm going to send it to my friends. All right, thank you so much. Any questions about yes?
1 second.
How is this different?
Wait, he's running for you.
Run.
Even though I can hear you.
Run, Forrest, run.
Yeah.
How is this different from, for example, Appium? Does this use Appium or XUI test under the hood? Can you explain a little bit more about it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it doesn't use Appium under the hood. It doesn't use WebDriver agent under the hood. Things were implemented from scratch. So there is no server to run. You just, for using Playwright, mobile-write, you just mobile-write run. It works. There's no server. Mobile CLI by itself has an option to, it uses XUI test for some of the stuff on iOS, for example, but it would install it. It would code sign the app and install it automatically for you. But it still does use something on the device. You might need an agent. The same from Android. Android you would need, if you need to type something that is UTF-8 but not ASCII, you would need an agent. Those are also open source and features coming in. But yeah, there's no legacy code inside. Everything is in Golang from scratch, new code base. Yeah.
Second question. Can I also use mobile write standalone, so not with AI, just create my own scripts and...
Yeah, yeah. Like the script that's shown here, it doesn't know when it's running the next time that it was written by AI. So you can just use it yourself. You can use it as from command line. You can use it from an MCP. You can use it from script. You can whatever you want. You can use it as an SDK. So it doesn't have even to be a test function. It could be that you just say launcher get me an iOS device, and then you have an interface that you can talk to. So,
Thank you.
thanks.
One question.
Yeah.
Imagine we have Milliways iOS and Milliways web. And I want to have one test to run on iOS and over the web.
Yeah.
Can I somehow share the test logic to be executed on different devices and environments? Because as from the code, I see that we use specific fixtures. We are not using browser fixture from Playwright, but I would like to have a single test to not write the same test for the web.
Okay. That's a great question. The answer is depends, right? So if you write, the same with, let's go Android and iOS for a second. If in Android I have accessibility hint saying button, and on Android I say login button, right? So my test needs to know which locator am I looking for, right? So the same with Playwright, or with Selenium. You might have a test for Selenium or like Playwright, and then it would use CSS selectors. So it boils down to how you make sure that the code is the same. But if you have a web view, then this is a feature coming out next week. You can locate the web view, and then you do that page, and suddenly becomes Playwright. So you might have so if you have an iframe, like a web view inside your app, you can use Playwright APIs under the hood, and then it's the same code. It helped? All right, thank you.
Yeah, hi. So
Yeah.
nice to see something like similar to the APM. We have been using APM since a time, and then we have a in-house lab also for the local device connectivity using the grid. And it was nice feeling to see that APM support the wireless connectivity with the devices. But how is this also coming up in the mobile right also?
This is that's a good question. Using wireless on Android or iOS, by the way?
On both of them.
On both of them. So ADBD would get you this automatically right now, so it would work. But for iOS, we need to implement this. So far, nobody requested it, so it's down at the roadmap. But it's just priorities. Like everything will come.
So a couple of more questions.
Yeah.
So how about the iOS certification, provisioning, profiling kind of thing when we specifically for iOS device connectivity?
You asking about the code signing certificates?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So when you the command line. So he's asking how to install apps, and everybody knows the pain of installing apps on iOS, right? It's difficult. On simulators, no problem. But on real devices, you have mobile CLI apps install, and you can give it an IPA, and it will try to install it. You can also do -- provisioning profile and the ID, and you can give it the certificate, and it would sign it and then install it, right? So it's up to you. The code signature is in. So when you use, for example, when you use it with mobile-use.com, it will sign it with mobile use certificate at the end, right? So you don't need to sign an app if you use the remote devices. Kind of like with all the providers with Sauce Labs and Browser Stack, you don't need to sign an app. But if you have your own device lab, you will have to take care of the certificates. But you can use like an enterprise certificate, and that would work. You just provide it as a command line.
And I hope it also support the parallel execution on multiple devices at the same time, supporting the Selenium grid and something like this.
It doesn't support Selenium grid. It's unrelated to Selenium, but it supports the same traces and reports that Playwright supports. It's the same code base.
I'm talking about the parallel execution on multiple devices, so at least we need some utility to connect multiple devices to route the specific test cases to a specific one.
Yeah. From command line, you can have access. Also, there's difference between, you can see that difference between Appium and Playwright. There's no session. There's a device. So you can use from the same script 5 different devices. You can run 2 tests at the same time that interact on the same device. It's up to you, right? There's no limitations.
So a couple of more questions, but don't want to hijack all of the time. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
round robin.
Yeah, but I'll be quick. My question was regarding if you can define tests for Android and iOS, but you already answered that you can, and it's under the hood in the API.
Yeah, in the you have like playwright config, right? You have mobile-write config. When you do define config, you have a JSON, and you can say stuff that is global, like timeouts and what is the test file path and everything. And then you have projects, and you can do iOS and Android. So you can do specific tests that only for iOS, specific tests only for Android, and stuff that runs on both.
Yeah.
Up here.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone else?
At the back.
The back? Oh.
Thank you. Yeah, you said that you're building on the Playwright API. Aren't you afraid to be dependent on something that you do not control? Meaning that if Microsoft comes up with something funny in the future?
Excellent question. No, I'm not afraid. And the reason is it was Apache, right? Even now, if Microsoft closes it, makes it proprietary and closes the Git repo, we still have up to here, right? Like at any given point, they could have done it. They can do it, but I don't think they will. Like they're really pro developers. This extends on the API. So everything that Playwright publishes as a public API, it's used. There's no funky business. There's no like changing a private method into a public and then we can use it. No, like everything is public. So it's okay. Thank you.
I don't know if you answered. Can you test web views with mobile-write? And do you have an example, or you personally have like a project where you have multiple mobile-write tests to test your application?
Yeah, so the second question, Milliways, if you go to this on the README, there's a link that you can click. It's an S3 bucket that has a bunch of mobile-write test reports. You can click and just see like multiple tests running. You can see the videos and the start traces. As for the web views, it's coming next week, and it's gonna bring you back a Playwright API. So once you find the web view, you get Playwright again, and it's not mobile. So you don't have to switch context like you do in Appium. Like this is now I'm in the locators for mobile, now I'm locators for web, but it's just a locator within the locators. Like the DOM is a child of the web view, which is a child of the native app, right?
You said that you need an agent for iOS for some stuff. Is this agent need to be also signed and everything installed, like in the?
Yeah. So the question is, do you need to sign the agent? For real devices, yes. For anything else, no. So when you use a simulator, it automatically installs it. You know, it says in the README, you're gonna get it installed. You can see the code; it's not that big. For iOS, you need to install it. There's a command line that does it, but you need to provide the mobile provisioning profile. Otherwise, it wouldn't know like how to sign the app. But you can just do it yourself. Or another option is that you just get the agent, an Xcode, just deploy it on the device, and then you don't need to reinstall it again. Like it doesn't need to be installed by mobile-mcp or by mobile-cli, but you can install it yourself on Xcode. So if you have a developer certificate, that's also fine. Okay.
All right, we have time for one last quick question.
Yeah.
Hi. So do you guys have any kind of locator generating support for Android, iOS, and specifically for web apps on mobile?
The question is, do you have one of the things on the roadmap? The question was how we can help generate the locators. One of the things on the roadmap that's coming is CodeGen. So Playwright, you had Playwright CodeGen, which launches a browser. So we're going to do the same. We're going to preview your device for you, and every time you click, it would generate the code for you. And then you can decide what you copy-paste, where you change. But it will give you a few options, like how do you locate this item, right? So that's also coming. And it's going to be multiple support for like Windows and Linux and Mac. but it's going to work with the device that you have locally on the device farm. Right. So, by the way, if you have a device farm, you can use the mobile CLI, and it would just get everything. You don't need to do any adaptations. Right. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Oh, sorry. Oh.
You check the docs and you found bugs.
Actually, I am working on an app myself with Cloud Code, and I installed it, the MCP. It already found like 4 bugs, and I didn't give it a specific thing to do, only just smoke test it, and it just found some bugs already. So it's cool.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gil. Before everyone leaves, quick 2 things. Sorry. The next session starts in 10 minutes here. And for those of you who have signed up for Lightning Talk at 2 p.m., which is on this stage, you can come and present. So everyone who submitted a Lightning Talk for 2 p.m., please come to the stage at 2 p.m. Thanks.